Welcome to the New Haven Connectz podcast. I'm your host, Montezuma Biko, with my lovely co-host,
K Dubb.
You know what I mean? And we are just going to talk about Trump, man. This dude is incredible. He's going after all people of color in Congress. He never addresses anything going on with any white congressmen or senators that disagree with him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he does, but he don't go as hard as he does for Congress people of color. Just recently, he told the chicks, the squad, the 4 Democratic congresswomen of color, to go back to their, fucked up areas and clean them up, and basically he told them to go back to Africa. He used a lot of coded white supremacist language, if you know what I mean. So, I just think he's just showing the racism, and he's not caring anymore. What do you think, K Dubb?
I think he been racist.
Yeah, he been racist.
And people still turning a blind eye to it.
I don't think they care, or they're racist themselves.
I think it's different between... No, I don't know. Maybe, well, sometimes I think there's a difference between white people and being racist and them when somebody else is being racist.
Okay.
It's okay for them when it's them. But then when somebody else do it, oh my God.
Yeah. And it just seemed to be perfectly timed. Because I could have swore that the entire news cycle for the previous day was all about Epstein and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep, and his plea deal.
Yeah.
That's all they kept talking about. How it wasn't no justice.
Absolutely.
And
Jeffrey Epstein, people, for the people out there that don't know, he's a billionaire that was recently found to be guilty of child sex trafficking, all type of pedo shit, and he has a lot of dirt on a lot of powerful people. So, beware. A lot of people are about to be exposed.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Because I saw an article in the New York Post that said Epstein was fucked up while he was in New York prison. I think that was to, threaten him to keep his mouth shut if he knows what's good for him. But he has ties to President Clinton and Donald Trump. Even the celebrity lawyer Alan Dershowitz, who one of Epstein's victims, is coming out and suing Alan Dershowitz because she said when she was underage, Epstein hooked her up with Dershowitz, and Dershowitz willingly had sex with her. Allegedly. I don't want the podcast getting sued or nothing. But I don't know. Epstein has a lot of powerful friends, and it just seemed crazy that the very next day Trump would get everybody talking about, his racist tweets or whatever, and no one's talking about Epstein anymore. He even went after, Al Sharpton went after him for, the wild shit that he just recently said about the city of Baltimore, Maryland. He said, Elijah Cummings, I believe he's he's not a senator. Congressman Elijah Cummings from Maryland. He told, who is actually head of the oversight committee. So he has to oversee the executive branch of the government. He has to make sure that the president is doing what's right. So he's simply doing his job, and President Trump went after him with a series of tweets, calling him all type of, he was talking about the city of Baltimore being rat infested, and things like that. A lot of disparaging and racist remarks.
And it's always about black people.
Always. And it's always the people of color. You know what I'm saying? And he always uses coded language.
And the Hispanics.
Yeah.
Like, who he think he fooling? Just because you're trying to call them immigrants, they're still Hispanic people.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
You're still Hispanic. Like, that's who you're talking to or talking about.
Mm-hmm. Brown people. So apparently he made the mistake of going after Al Sharpton. And Al Sharpton, being a New Yorker too, he's come into contact with Trump, over the years or whatever. And they were actually chilling buddies, going to fights with, Don King or whatever. So Al Sharpton held a rally in Detroit. In Baltimore. Was it Baltimore? No, yeah, No, he said Detroit. He said Detroit was... I'm confused. I forgot.
I'm confused.
Well, either way, Al Sharpton held a rally saying that Trump's, shit that he was saying was wrong. Trump came out calling Al a con man and all that shit. Al said some slick shit like, if I was a con man, then I would be in your cabinet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. Shots fucking fired.
But also Trump was caught in a lie. He said that he was with the first responders on 9/11 helping out people, and come to find out he really wasn't. He said that he sent 100 people from the Trump Foundation to go help, but one of Trump's people, former people, came out and was like, we didn't have 100 people in the Trump Foundation. So I don't know what he's talking about. It's like, this guy is just a straight up liar, and he's the true con man. That's how I feel. And I feel bad because, I want to support my president, of my country, right or wrong. But he is just too out of pocket. He's out of control. I don't know. What do you think, K Dubb? Do you think he's going to get reelected, especially with the Democrats that we have going up against him? Because
honestly, I don't know.
I think it's a wrap. I think, we got to get ready for another 4 years of this shit.
I hope not.
It's crazy because he's telling these people go back to their country. But who told your grandfather to come here? You know what I'm saying? Who told your wife to come here? They said that the congresswoman that he went after, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, but she's been in the country longer than your wife. So, Oh, and then the wild shit was, we found out that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is actually a slumlord.
It sure is.
With about 9,000 units in the city of Baltimore. He's had over 200 violations. People are complaining of maggots, mold, and rats and mice. But yet, none of these things are being addressed. So when he says that, this place is rat infested, he's absolutely right, because his son-in-law definitely plays a part. He's a slumlord in the city of Baltimore. And not even so much as that, but Mr. President, Baltimore is in the United States. You're the president. So if it is rat infested and fucked up, it's your job to fix it. I just...
And the fact that you're getting colds, well, people, whoever come out in there to check houses and stuff, and people's telling you there's things wrong and you're not fixing them, and then things are going away. and then that's it. That's like, what?
Absolutely. This guy is out of control.
No wonder it's rat infested.
Wow. It's just horrible, and no one is ever being held accountable. No one ever goes to jail. You know, these people just get to keep doing what they're doing despite whether or not the government tells them to do right. They just do what they want to do willy-nilly, and it's unacceptable at this point.
And the government gets their money because all they got to do is pay fines. And it's not like the fines go into the apartments. It goes into the government.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... wow.
But, like I said, it just seems like the perfect distraction because, like I said, the day before he started with all this wild shit with the, because remember right before this happened, before even the Epstein story broke, it was about the Nancy Pelosi and the squad.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then Trump was siding with Nancy Pelosi. Then the Epstein story broke. And then, you know, all the news cycles were about the Epstein shit. Pardon me. And then then the shit came out with him doing the racist tweets like the very next day. All this shit is calculated. You know what I mean? All this shit is calculated. None of this shit is by chance. I'm just convinced that allegedly, the president doesn't want Epstein to reveal his ties to him, because I think the ties are a lot closer. There's actually video of Epstein and Trump at a party in, like, I think the late 80s or early 90s, and they're there checking out women. You know what I'm saying? And then remember they were saying how when Trump was head of the Miss America pageant, he would just walk in on the girls getting dressed, titties all out and shit, pussy out. Like, he would just walk. Yeah, he would just walk in the dressing room. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all bitches are here for me. So then, allegedly, I don't think it's alleged, because I think this was confirmed. There was a party that they'd had after one of those pageants or whatever the fuck. And it was a party with just 30 people. The only two men at the party were him and Trump. So, you draw your own conclusions, America. You know what I'm saying? New Haven Connectz people. What should we call them? Like, connectors or connected, or what should we call people that follow the podcast, T?
I don't know. Connectors and I don't know. That sounds a little weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe, you know what? Connectors starting to click. That sounds alright.
Even connectors. Or,
that sounds okay.
People that enjoy and appreciate our work and the stuff we put into, keeping this podcast going. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's more than just a couple L's and some nips. You know what I'm saying? No, but we appreciate all the love that we get, especially the viewer mail, and when people write in, which you can do also you can email us at newhavenconnects@gmail with your questions, and we'll be sure to address it. Or you can hit up our Facebook page or Twitter at New Haven Connectz. Well, actually, for the Twitter, it's NH Connectz with the Z. So, but that will conclude another episode of the New Haven Connectz podcast with me, your host, Montezuma Biko, my co-host,
K Dubb.
You know what I mean? And as always, check in with us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it lit. We're going to keep it honest to the best of our ability. You know what I mean? All right, y'all take care. We love y'all. Peace.